Welcome to the Tea Huddle with Marisa and Kelly.
Your only source for gridiron gossip. If you love football,
and if you already knew that Taylor and Travis were at the Yankee game on Monday,
then this is the podcast for you.
We jumped into it a little bit talking about Taylor and Travis's week of PDA right off the bat, but we're going to save that for a little bit later.
We'll get into it for sure.
Don't you worry. But first, we'll start how we do every week. Kelly, give us the rundown of week 6 in the NFL.
In week 6, football is getting a little bit more predictable finally after some crazy weeks leading up to this one. Mm-hmm. The Lions embarrassed the Cowboys 47-9 in Dallas.
Go Lions.
It was owner Jerry Jones's 82nd birthday. So not so happy birthday to you, Jerry.
Bummer.
The Patriots started Drake May, who showed promising signs for the future of the Patriots, although it will take more than a new quarterback for the Patriots to beat the Texans or win any game, potentially. The Bengals broke their losing streak in a win against the Giants on Sunday night, and then on Monday Night Football, the Bills beat the Jets in a crucial division matchup to maintain control over the AFC East. The Bills win comes after coach of the Jets, Robert Saleh, was fired last Tuesday after the Jets' Week 5 loss to the Vikings. We weren't able to get into this last week, but there have been some updates since then, so we're going to dive right in.
It's dramatic.
Yeah, there's been a lot of conspiracies around this firing. Was Aaron Rodgers involved?
Definitely.
Is it his fault?
Definitely.
What's going on with owner Woody Johnson?
Bad vibes.
We're going to get into all of that. But just to back up a little bit, so as I mentioned, last Tuesday, Saleh walked into the building expecting to start practice and was abruptly fired. Not only was he fired, but he was also escorted out of the building. He was denied the chance to address the team one last time, which is very unusual for a head coach. They're always allowed to at least speak to the team. But no, they had security come and take him away.
So hostile.
Yeah, not a good look for the Jets organization, honestly.
And we know Saleh and the Jets from Hard Knocks last season. He seems like a lovely guy, an inspiring coach, someone who cares about the players. I imagine it's a tough pill to swallow to not be able to say anything to them.
Yeah, he definitely rebuilt the Jets. Mm-hmm. And then now he's just disappeared. And the players definitely feel it. We'll get to some of their reactions a little bit later. But I'm just surprised because just some background on Saleh. He is a defensive coach. So he has been a defensive coordinator at multiple teams, most recently the 49ers. And the Jets defense is good. Their problem is the offense. And sorry, Aaron Rodgers, but you may be part of it. Rodgers only has a 65% passer rating. He has 5 interceptions this year. Aaron Rodgers has a worse record than Zach Wilson did.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because the narrative was Zach Wilson didn't come here to be the QB1. He was supposed to learn from Aaron Rodgers. Once Aaron Rodgers is healed, he'll save the day. He doesn't need training camp. They're so lucky to have him.
Yeah. And here we are, week 6. Jets are 2-4, while last year they were 3-3 with Zach Wilson.
Wow.
So
they miss that little elf boy now, I bet.
I think obviously you can't just blame the quarterback, even though he is Aaron Rodgers, but he definitely takes some blame in where the Jets are right now. He's the reason why the Jets hired offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, Alan Lazard they brought over, Randall Cobb. That was all Aaron Rodgers being a little puppet master. That's the word. Puppet player.
That classic puppet player.
And apparently Aaron Rodgers has a history of being a quote unquote coach killer. This isn't the first coach that's been fired when he's been quarterback. In 2018, when Rodgers was on the Packers, they fired Mike McCarthy midseason. So I don't know. It just feels like there's something happening. Something happened behind closed doors that we didn't see. he was somehow involved from the interactions we saw between Aaron Rodgers and Saleh earlier this season.
Yeah, when he shoved him away, when he tried to hug him, and he was like, "That's just how we bro out." And then he was fired, and
he was fired,
escorted out by security.
Which Aaron Rodgers does not like these accusations that he was involved in the firing. He went on the Pat McAfee podcast.
He loves it there.
He's there every day.
He's always there.
But obviously he was gonna go on. He said he resents any of the accusations because they're patently false. I love Coach Saleh and we have a very solid relationship. He was a big reason why I came to the Jets.
Sounds like a lie to me.
Yeah, I don't believe him.
Yeah. A little more context and controversy around this firing is that Robert Saleh is the first Muslim head coach in the NFL. He is Lebanese and wore a Lebanese flag pin just a few days before the firing. The Council on American Islamic Relations is calling on an investigation into the firing and the hostility around it, like you mentioned.
Like getting security involved.
Yes. And head coaches get fired all the time. And if it's so rare that someone would be escorted out, not given the opportunity to speak with their team one last time. And one note is the owner of the Jets, Woody Johnson. He is the heir to the Johnson & Johnson fortune. He also, in 2017, was appointed by Donald Trump as the U.S. ambassador to the UK, even though he had no political or diplomatic experience at all. And while he was in that role, he was investigated in 2020 for comments he made that were considered equal employment opportunity sensitive, which means they pertain to race, religion, color, etc. He's been quoted making comments about Black History Month, asking what the purpose of it was ahead of an event in 2018 where he apparently groaned and asked if the audience would be a whole bunch of Black people, and said that the real challenge is that Black fathers didn't remain with their families.
Yikes. So, yeah, definitely a history of racist comments and bad decisions made by the Jets ownership. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was something underlying going on in this firing.
Yeah. So,
yeah, and saying those comments as like an NFL owner is
what?
I mean, saying them anyway, but crazy.
Yeah, it must be hard for Black players to want to play for somebody like that. Although maybe most of the owners, it's like playing for somebody like that.
I guess, that's true.
Like
none of them are great people.
Yeah.
But Bill Belichick has been critical about first the decision to fire Saleh, and then also Woody Johnson, his coach or his style of ownership. During the Monday Night Football game, he said that the firing seems like an early decision, but not out of character for the owner. The owner being the owner, just ready, aim, fire. Basically saying that
he's cutthroat.
All the the Jets' struggles kind of go back to him making quick, uneducated decisions. And it seems like that's the case here. But the players all respect Saleh. After he was fired, Sauce Gardner was interviewed post-game on Monday and asked about how he felt about the firing. And he said, if I'm being honest, we're still doing it for him. Like, they respect the man. I think they're all hurting, although they don't seem to mind the new interim head coach. But definitely a hard thing for them to process, not being able to say goodbye to their coach Saleh, who all these guys are really young. He's taught them all how to play the game. So
the new interim head coach, it's important to note, has a very strong beard.
He does. He looks like Santa Claus,
like a hot Santa. Hot fit Santa.
I think it's a fake beard. Like, it's too perfect.
I kept thinking it was a COVID mask, like from the side, because it's just so stark. And then I was like, oh, it's not a COVID mask. It's actually hot Santa.
His face.
Yeah. It's just hot fit Santa.
His name is Jeff Ulbrich.
Jeff Ulbrich. Yeah, he looks like if Santa and the Hulk like merged.
Yeah, if you're losing Saleh, at least you're getting hot Santa. But none of these changes seem to scare away a certain player, though, from joining the mess that the Jets are.
Yes. I'm excited about this one because this one has been drama unfolding for weeks. And we know both of the, like, sort of the key players here because they were on various docuseries about the NFL, reality shows, basically. So we know all about Aaron Rodgers from Hard Knocks and just, like,
years and years.
Entertainment, whatever. And Davante Adams, who I got to know through the show Receiver on Netflix, been at the center of some drama lately that came to a head this week. Okay, just some backstory to get up to speed. So late September, early October, there's turmoil on the Raiders. Things are not going well between Davante Adams and head coach Antonio Pierce. They're like subtweeting each other and like shading each other in press conferences. Yeah. Then week 4, Davante has a hamstring injury and hasn't played since then. Convenient timing. Then October 1st, he officially requests a trade. Immediately the Jets rumors start because he used to play on the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yep, he played with Aaron Rodgers, and they were a great duo. They were very strong together. And
so people are eager to see them again, and the Jets are struggling, and everybody thought, oh my God, if Davante's leaving, maybe he would go to the Jets.
Which, spoiler alert, but I don't know why he would go from one 2-4 team to another. Like, this guy wants to win. Like, what is he thinking? I don't think.
And he doesn't now even know what coach he's going to play for, because there's an interim head coach, but there's
no coach.
Yeah,
which he does love a coach firing, as we know.
They both do. Yeah. They're both the coach. What'd you call it?
Coach killers.
They're both coach killers, as we saw on Receiver.
Maybe they're meant to be together.
Yeah. So after the rumors after he requests a trade and the rumors start, with zero context, he posts a picture of Edgar Allan Poe to his Instagram story.
I remember that. We were like,
it has to be Ravens. I was like, 100% he's going to the Ravens, and this is him being coy about it because Edgar Allan Poe, famous poem, The Raven, and he's from Baltimore, which apparently that's why the Ravens are named that after Edgar Allan Poe, because he's a famous Baltimorean.
It's not just a bird.
There's backstory.
There's more to it.
So now that we know that he doesn't go to the Ravens, like, was that a negotiation tactic? Was that, like, what was that?
I know there were lots of teams interested in him, obviously. Yeah. And then last week it was like, actually, Davante's going to stay at the Raiders.
Yeah.
He's happy here. And now.
Yep. And then.
The rumors are back.
Yes. Then last week, Kay Adams said, he's coming on my show tomorrow, like, so much to discuss. And then the next day she tweeted, oh boy, lots happening at the moment with our guy Adams. He won't be on tomorrow. Sorry about that. And stay tuned. So, like, he was agreeing to be booked. He was not being booked. Like, I just feel like it was probably absolute chaos behind the scenes.
Definitely. And for both of these teams.
Yeah, and probably for other teams that we don't even know. Or, like, I feel like somebody was saying the Bills were part of this conversation.
Yeah, the Saints, the Bills.
Yeah. And then finally this week on Tuesday, it was confirmed that he's going to the Jets. He's reuniting with his bestie, Aaron Rodgers, who was back on his favorite place to be, the Pat McAfee show. And he had this glimmer in his eye that we haven't seen from him in a while. And he looks off camera, and then Davante, like, peeks his head out.
Already reunited.
Yeah.
Just sleeping on Aaron Rodgers' couch. How long has he been there?
Apparently he took a red eye Monday night to get, as soon as the deal was done, hopped that flight, went over to the guest room of his buddy's mansion, probably.
Maybe conspiracy number 3 around the Saleh firing is he didn't want to get Davante. So then Aaron, being the chess player he is, got him fired and now gets his buddy back.
Maybe. It is giving, like, toxic bromance. The two of them are sitting there, like you said, playing chess, making the decisions, like, ordering firings.
Yeah.
And it will all be embarrassing if they don't start winning. After all of this, you're getting everybody fired. You're making trades. You're making deals. You're catching red eyes.
Yeah.
Are you going to win a game?
Quit throwing picks out there.
And Devontae said he's now ready for Sunday's game against the Steelers. So I guess really convenient timing for his hamstring injury to be
all
fully healed. I'm going to tune in.
So originally they were going to trade Devontae for a 2nd-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I think it's a 4th-round pick.
Oh.
But it could be upgraded, I guess, to a 2nd-round pick depending on how Devontae plays. So
Oh, you can
a lot on the line.
Retroactively.
I know. I didn't know that you could have like a contingent,
yeah, that's weird.
contingent sale.
I feel like that's bad business.
I know,
You should get the lowest you can out of it.
And what if he like wants to screw you over?
Yeah, which seems like maybe he would. He's posting Instagram pictures of like new green cleats.
Yeah, it's like
He's
Packers green, Jets green.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
The Jets are just the Packers from 2 years ago.
Were the Packers good 2 years ago?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're fine.
Yeah, so I like the drama from them, and we'll see.
Speaking of coach drama, there's another coach on thin ice.
Ooh.
This week. Nick Sirianni, the coach of the Eagles. The Eagles are officially 3-2 after narrowly beating the Browns in week 6, who are one of the worst teams in the league. They have a 1-5 record. So
yeah, that's not good.
Sirianni, after the game, or like right when the game was finishing up, was on the sideline and arguing with Eagles fans for booing him. It was a home game. His own fans are booing him, and
they were chanting,
shouting back at
"Fire
him.
Sirianni!"
Yeah, like if your team is like you won and your team's still that upset, and you're like firing back, like you shouldn't be. Like you beat them by 4 points. Like that's not something to
get so excited about.
Yeah, that's not a real win.
I was on Twitter before the Eagles game and saw pictures of Nick Sirianni walking out with a freshly shaved head. And some of the tweets were like, oh, he's dialed in, like he's focused. And I was like, no, every woman knows that a drastic hair change means you're teetering on the edge. Like
he's losing
it's the equivalent of him getting impromptu bangs. He's not doing well. He's not in a good place. And that's what the haircut.
Yeah, it's an indication of a breakdown for sure. We've seen it many, many times.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the Britney Spears effect.
Yeah, exactly. Like you dye your hair platinum with no notice. It's usually things are spiraling.
Yeah, in his post-game conference, when he was asked like what he was saying, like why he was yelling at the fans, he was like, oh, I was just excited about the win. Like, that's not an exciting win. Get off the field and go talk to your team about what needs to be improved. And then he brought his kids to like the post conference as well, like to avoid having any hard questions asked. He was like I'm with my family. Like, let's wrap this up.
Like people are going to be nicer and not
don't embarrass
with
me
the
in
hard
front of my
questions.
babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like his days are numbered. His personality to me seems like it fits in with the Philly crowd.
Yeah.
Like, very aggressive.
Yeah.
But I think they're getting fed up.
Mm-hmm. They want to win.
They want to win. And after last year where they had like a 10-1 record and then slowly fell from there, it's just, it's got to be frustrating.
Definitely. In happier off the field news, this week it was the Chiefs bye week. And we got so much from Taylor and Travis out of this week. It was as much as I could have hoped for.
I know. A bye week, is meant for the players to rest. But
Travis did not rest.
What was Travis up to?
He came to the tri-state area because he's filming a cameo for Happy Gilmore 2, which is filming in New Jersey.
Just like he got Taylor's attention, he also got the Happy Gilmore gig by talking about it on his New Heights podcast. So what happens on the podcast does not stay on the podcast.
What should we speak into existence?
I know.
He's it's good
marketing.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
You can get girlfriend, movie role, you know.
Seems to be working.
The answer is no if you never ask, I feel like.
It's true. You get what you asked for.
Mm-hmm. So him and Taylor were out and about in New York. Friday, they were at New York new hotspot, the Corner Store. It's like the hottest reservation in New York. And especially now, everybody wants to go after they were seen there. They went on a double date with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
Besties.
Travis has talked about on New Heights that he loved Gossip Girl. So I wonder if he talked about that with Blake.
Yeah. I mean, they've definitely met millions of times, right? But I'm sure.
All,
what else are they talking about at dinner?
Yeah. Then the next day, Saturday, they went to Teresi, another New York.
Another reservation I'll never get now.
Yeah, exactly. Just the two of them this time. They're like wearing their cute outfits. They're like smiling at the cameras as they walk to and from. They're like the first couple, right? They're giving, I'm not going to say royalty because that's extreme, but I'm going to think it.
But yeah, kind of like.
Yep. It's like they're waving to their constituents.
Football royalty plus music royalty equals everyday royalty.
Mm-hmm. Then on Monday night, they went to the Yankees game, ALCS game 1. They were at first, we didn't see them at first. Like the game had started, it was first inning. There was like one grainy picture of them in a suite. And I was like, maybe we're not going to get a lot from them. So wrong. They were kissing and hugging and laughing, and like he put his hat over their face so they could make out. They were like feeding each other popcorn. She was like drinking
cute little date.
He was feeding her beer.
Oh.
It was adorable. It's like they're so in love. They're so happy.
I saw a lot of people were like, is she wearing a ring? But it was just on her middle finger.
We're waiting.
I
mean, no rush. Take your time. Do you? But like,
come on, let's make this royal.
Give us a royal wedding.
Royal family.
Yeah. And then also in the news in the Tavis world this week, his ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole, who he dated for years before Taylor, Angel Reese from the WNBA has a podcast, and she had Kayla Nicole on, and they sort of got into it a little bit. She talked about how the Chiefs wags, including Brittany Mahomes, used to be like family to her. She said, and now we're not.
That happens. Breakups, unfortunately.
And she said that her and Travis like have been in the same place together before, but that because of his situation with his like public relationship, they know that they wouldn't be able to communicate in public without it being blown up and getting out of control. It sort of felt like she was implying that they might communicate in private, but I don't think that that's really what she was implying.
You guys shouldn't be communicating.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And like,
I mean, it must be hard for her. I'm sure she's got like all the Swifties after her and comparing her to Taylor Swift. But
right. I wouldn't want my ex-boyfriend to start dating Taylor Swift. But I would also probably just like avoid speaking about it.
Yeah. Just say like, oh, happy for them. Cute couple.
Yeah.
Move on.
Mm-hmm.
What do I know?
Yeah, exactly.
I've never dated Travis.
Unfortunately, neither have I. And then Jason. So we talked a little bit about how all of Travis's off-field shenanigans might be hindering his on-field performance. And
he's
Jason,
like a real actor these days.
Apparently.
his second acting gig, like during football season.
Yeah. And like there was so much talk about he's not prioritizing football. He's gallivanting. This bye week, he was like, you want to see gallivanting? I'll show you gallivanting. It doesn't seem like a restful
Definitely
week.
Not.
But Jason Kelsey spoke out in his brother's defense, and he said, I know it's been a slow start for him. I know the optics have certainly appeared. And then he trailed off, but like appeared that he's distracted. But he'll always find a way to show up and show out. And then he was better last week, right? After a rocky...
Yeah, he's been making some catches. I mean, he's been playing fine.
So we'll see.
Not as great as last year, but...
We'll see if his bye week,
see how much rest he got.
Yeah.
Another football player that seems a little bit unfocused, Malik Neighbors, wide receiver for the Giants.
Yes, I want to talk about that.
I mean, he is on concussion protocol, so he's not on like a bye week or anything, but he's not playing. And
but more than a bye week on concussion protocol, you should be taking
he should
it
definitely
easy.
be resting.
Yeah.
But instead, he attended a Travis Scott concert. And for those who don't know about Travis Scott concerts, they are loud, lots of lights. I read that one of his concerts last year, like the sound of it was equal to a 1.3 magnitude earthquake.
It's a lot of like moshing. It's very like rock.
It's intense.
Yes. It's
not
intense.
where you should be when you are resting your brain and recovering from a concussion.
Definitely not.
He was wearing like sunglasses, I guess, to help him with the lights, but I don't think it's enough.
I Googled what to avoid if you have a concussion, and one of the first things that comes up, bright lights, loud sounds, and crowds. So it looked like he was maybe at the club, or maybe that's just like the VIP section at the concert, but he was holding a giant stack of cash. And he's wearing the sunglasses, which is maybe for concussion protocol, but maybe for vibes, like sunglasses inside.
A little bit of both.
He's just really giving wide receiver energy.
And he is young. Like he's a rookie. He's trying to have fun, but probably not the best activity, especially if you're not playing on like the next day. You're still that hurt that you're not getting sign off from the doctor.
Yeah, it's a bad look for optics, to take Jason Kelsey's word. Like, you should look like you're prioritizing your health and wellness, but also you should actually be prioritizing, like, your brain health is
very important.
Not just for how it looks publicly. Like,
you're the future of the Giants. Make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah. And then when he came to the game after the concert to like support his team, he was sitting on the sidelines. He was not wearing any Giants gear, not a jersey, not a hat, not a pin. Yeah, I think the Giants organization wanted a little more buy-in and support from him. I saw in the press conference, they asked Dable, like, what do you think about him being at the Travis Scott show? And
he looked pissed.
Yeah, he looked pissed. And he said, we're going to keep that in-house.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like he's going to be a player to watch, but also a personality to watch.
Like that.
Yeah, I do. We have one more top story for this week that we can't skip. I'm excited about this one. So Hassan Reddick is a name I did not know before this week, but he provided me with my favorite recent headline. Over the weekend, the New York Post shared an article titled "Disgruntled Jets Star Stiffed Biz Partner of $1.6 million and Hired Goons to Intimidate Him, suit."
Goons.
So much to unpack. You don't hear goons every day. And like,
not in the headline.
Why is he disgruntled? What's this business partner? Like, what's going on?
Who is he?
Yeah.
Hassan Reddick is a veteran linebacker. He was drafted in 2017 to the Cardinals and played for the Panthers and the Eagles. He was traded to the Jets over the offseason. However, he was unhappy with his contract and did not attend any of training camp. So that's who he is. Let's start there.
Yeah, so that's who he is. So I had missed this story that he just wasn't going to training camp. So I went back and was like looking at all the articles, and there's all these articles on the Post. Will he play week 1? Like, what's going to happen? Is he going to play week 1? Spoiler, he did not play week 1, nor week 2, nor week 3. He has not played a single game this whole season.
Who doesn't want to play with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, like the Jets are such a mess. So he was on contract with the Eagles. Then when he got traded to the Jets, they extended his Eagles contract. But he said, I don't like that contract. I want a new contract, and I'm not going to play until you give me a new contract. And they're like, but we traded you for this contract. So this is the contract we're going to pay you. So they're at a full standstill since the trade happened. We're now in week 7. He was fined $50,000 a day every day of training camp that he missed. He's fined $800,000 for every season game he missed. He's now out about $9 million in fines and forfeited money.
That's crazy.
Last week, his agent quit.
They're like, I'm done with you.
Yeah. So now we're up to date at the time that this Goons article came out. So like now we know that he's disgruntled. He has no agent. Everything's falling apart.
So who are the Goons?
So that brings us to the Goons. So in 2018, apparently, he bought Haven Home Health Agency, like a home health agency.
Okay. What does that mean?
Like they send nurses to care for people in their homes.
At home. Okay, got it.
Why did he do that? He had no experience or knowledge of how home health agencies work.
Medical experience.
Or medical experience. So he put his dad and his dad's ex-wife. I wonder if she was his wife at the time. It would be weird to put your dad's ex-wife in.
Yeah, it probably was.
Probably. He had them like run the business. So he bought it and he had them run it. By 2021, 3 years later, it was failing and they had 0 patients.
Zero. Not one.
Not one. So they approached this guy, Micah Khan, knowing that he had experience in the home health industry. And Micah Khan is the guy who has a lawsuit and the guy who the Goons were sent after. So the lawsuit claims that when they went into business together, they agreed that if it sold, Khan would get half of the proceeds. He says in the lawsuit, his magic touch transformed the floundering business into a very successful company with a fully trained staff and large revenue stream. So they found the right guy.
Yeah. Nice work, Mr. Khan.
Exactly. In 2024, the lawsuit continues to claim that a larger home health care company acquires Haven for $3.25 million. Khan is like, that's great. So glad we could make this a profitable business. I would like my half. And asks Raymond Matthews, which is Hassan's dad, like, where's my half of the money, as we agreed.
Yeah.
The lawsuit says Mr. Matthews brought over more than a dozen black-gloved men to a business meeting claiming they were Hassan's personal security. Over a dozen men in black gloves?
That's terrifying. Like sitting around a table? What is that?
Goons. These are the goons. It was at this post-sale meeting that Mr. Matthews made it clear that they intended to breach their payment obligations.
And you can't do anything at that point because it's just the intimidation factor.
It's you and over a dozen goons. What do you like? They're just here to tell you you're not getting that money.
Yeah.
So he filed a lawsuit. Since the lawsuit was filed earlier this week on Monday, Hassan Reddick, now he has a new agent, this big shot agent, Drew Rosenhaus, who has represented big stars, but also some controversial figures, Tyreek Hill, Terrell Owens, Johnny Manziel.
So he probably knows what he's doing.
Yeah. He said, we look forward to working with the Jets to get this all resolved as soon as possible. This all meaning the contract and him not playing, not the Goons.
He can only do so much.
Yeah. He said Hassan would like to be a New York Jet for years to come, and our goal is to make that happen.
Well, Hassan, I don't think they need you anymore because they got Devontae Adams now.
And they don't want
money.
your goons.
They don't want to deal with your goons.
So then back to the goon lawsuit, his lawyer said the agency was not sold and therefore we have no money for you and you're using his name to like inflate your business. It's not, I mean, based on what we know about Hassan Reddick so far, it sounds like he's not somebody I'd love to do business with.
Really bad at contract negotiations.
Yeah. So Mr. Khan should get out. I hope he gets some of his money. If all of this allegedly is true. I hope he gets his money, gets out unscathed by the goons.
Yeah, good luck. I would avoid any of that.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't know there was somebody who just was like not playing this whole time.
I had no idea he signed with the Jets.
Yeah. You wouldn't know because he's never been on the field, not even for a practice. So now that he has this new agent, I wonder if he'll play. Like, he's already lost $9 million by That's an expensive tantrum to throw.
Yeah, very ridiculous. That's
Juicy.
Yeah, I liked that one.
We've been seeing some good outfits this season, so it's time for an old favorite segment, Drip, Drip, Drip.
I love this one. We've already had 6 weeks of outfits, so I'm excited to catch up on our favorites.
This past week, the Chicago Bears definitely coordinated for their London game. We saw lots of dapper looks, 3-piece suits, briefcases. My personal favorite was rookie Rome Odunze. Very Peaky Blinders. He had on a pageboy cap, a vest with a little vest chain, and the best accessory, a British accent.
Really leaning into it. Yeah. Kyler Gordon was channeling an Ice Age version of Prince, if you can say, in a furry jacket, and making a very drippy look.
Caleb Williams, of course, also on the Bears, wore a fur-length floor coat, and someone on Twitter said he looked like Commissioner Gordon, which made me laugh.
How cold was it in London? All these fur coats.
It's like warmer than it is here. They were just going for the look.
Leaning into it.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, on the other hand, did not get the dapper memo because he showed up to the London game looking like Ellen DeGeneres in a tight black suit with cropped pants and white sneakers. It looked like an Ellen pantsuit.
It's really very Ellen.
I'm giving that
great call.
Him an L for outfit and an L for his performance on Sunday.
Double L.
Sorry. Trevor.
Another one of my favorites, Jets linebacker CJ Mosley represented New York City with a Mets jersey while they're in their playoff streak. Let's go Mets.
I respect that. Yeah, go Mets.
I looked up if he was from New York, maybe he's a hometown guy. He's not. He's from Alabama. He just
and he
has good taste.
Went Mets over Yankees. Mm-hmm. I can respect that.
Mm-hmm. Mets Jets.
Mets Jets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nets.
Yeah.
Brady Russell of the Seahawks was giving big tight end energy when he showed up in a kilt. He was also giving off some pirate vibes. He had like one of those poet white blouses on.
A puffy shirt.
and was rocking his long, curly, blonde hair.
Dak Prescott and Jared Goff were really opposites this week, leading into the game where they played against each other. Dak came very decked out, full blue and silver floral suit, and Goff wore khakis and a hoodie. As you mentioned during the rundown, the Lions fully destroyed the Cowboys, so maybe there's something to be said for the casual approach.
Yeah, maybe Dak was focused on the wrong things before the game. He spent too much time getting ready and not enough practicing.
Yeah, what was it, 47-9?
Yeah, 47-9.
47-9.
Complete blowout.
Should have stuck with a hoodie.
Doesn't matter how good you look. Yeah. Uwusu Koromoa, who took home the first ever Teacup Award last season for Best Strip, is of course bringing it as always. This week he had, I love this one, a pajama meets detective look. So he's wearing these blue silky pajama looking outfit underneath a brown overcoat and brown fedora.
I like that one. A departure from what he did last season, but still
less traditional, but still fun.
Mm-hmm. Jesse Lucchetta and LJ Collier on the Arizona Cardinals had some good looks. Lucchetta in a full denim paneled look and Collier in head-to-toe tie-dye. But my favorite part of their fit check was the Twitter comments on the official Cardinals post of their outfits, which had comments like, "Glad you guys dress better than you play. Pathetic. These guys should start thinking about winning games instead of having the most swag. You dress horrible and you play bad."
Well said.
Yeah, just getting roasted.
Yeah. Goes back to the earlier point, I guess. If you're going to dress nice, you better show up.
Yeah.
Marco Wilson, cornerback for the Patriots. He's rocking a fur look before the game on Sunday. Fun fact, he is the creative director of Hip 3399, a clothing line that specializes in tracksuits, including a specialized 2024 Paris Olympics tracksuit.
And that's the brand that he was
wearing like a tracksuit underneath a big fur brown coat and hat.
He's a vibe on his Instagram. Yeah.
Let's see how he does.
I'm sure so many more looks in the weeks ahead.
Keep it coming. And that brings us to our final goss.
Final goss.
What do you have for us, Marissa?
Okay, this one is not as fun and light as we like to usually keep our final goss, but it's a gossipy story, so I feel like we gotta keep people in the know. A man is accusing Texans wide receiver Stefon Diggs of allegedly drugging and attempting to have sex with him. So
the second week Stefon Diggs is in the news for some crazy goss.
What was last week? I already forgot.
Him and Cardi B.
Oh yeah,
had an affair potentially.
Right. Yes, yeah.
That was a lot later than this one.
Yes. So back in May of 2023, Stefon and Trayvon have a third brother, Darez Marshawn Diggs. Sometimes he goes by Darez, sometimes he goes by Marshawn. He got probation for orchestrating an attack, which was caught on security video and published to TMZ. So I remember seeing this video back in May of 2023. A man, Chris Blake Griffith, was exiting an elevator in a downtown LA apartment building. He sees Darez. When he exits the elevator, he quickly turns around and goes back into the elevator and tries to close the elevator door. But Darez and two other guys, all three of them, come into the elevator, start beating up Chris Blake Smith, pull a necklace off of him, take a bag, and leave. And allegedly that bag contained jewelry. Darez, as I said, got probation for that. So
that guy was like knew who Darez was.
Yes. So
was scared.
This past week, the victim of the elevator attack posted on his Instagram. It's like a long sort of rambling Instagram caption, but he's talking about how he knows Darez, aka Marshawn, that he's talking about their fashion line, that it looks like Forever 21's men's line, but then he goes, the derivative of all this shit is that Stefon tried to drug me and then have sex with me, and I escaped unscathed. Thank you, Jesus. But now I know his secret, and that didn't sit well with him. Weeks later, after his failed sexual attempt on me, because I don't play like that and never have, Marshawn realized that I was no longer affiliated with his half-brother, and because he's broke, not even being funny, actually doesn't have any money. This is what I meant by rambling, blah, blah, blah. He said, and that ain't even all the tea, but everybody knows so much. They're going to run a narrative about theft to protect the fact that he drugged me and then tried to try me, blah, 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 blah. It's rambly. It's sort of hard to follow all of it. He also uses a lot of slang, and it's not a super clear message, but the gist of it, what's getting picked up by gossip sites, is his claim that Stefon Diggs allegedly.
Yeah, so is he saying that his brother Marshawn basically tried to rob him to intimidate him and from speaking out about Stefon?
Yes. Yeah, he said, this is what I was like. He said, and he didn't give a damn about no cameras because they likely wanted my mouth closed about the quote unquote closeted receiver. And wanted to kill me and leave me in my apartment after they cleared it clean of all my valuables. So I would say not the most coherent claim, but
still a serious one.
And when he posted that caption, he posted a lot of pictures of him and Stefon Diggs together, over the years. And then he was also posting a lot of it that's unclear is about the fashion of it all. He's I had a one of one belt loop chain, and here's a picture of me wearing it, and then here's a picture of Stefan Diggs wearing it. Again, I said it's a 1 of 1, but like it just to me looked like a chain that you attach to your pants. So I don't know, but there definitely are pictures of him and Stefan Diggs together. So first I saw somebody claimed this about Stefan Diggs, and then when I was Googling him, I was like, oh my God, this is the guy from the TMZ elevator video. Like that's
from last year. Yeah. So maybe there's some truth behind it if they're like attacking him for some reason. But
and it was a targeted attack. Like they knew that person was coming, and that it didn't from the video appear like a random jewelry robbery. So obviously we'll keep everyone posted on this. We hope it's not true.
I hope it's not true. Yeah, a lot of scandals around Stefan Diggs these days. So
yeah. And we hope that next week's Final Goss is like a light, happy, fun. Maybe somebody's spotted with a new girl.
Yeah, something lighter, like Bill Belichick potentially getting engaged.
Yeah, Daily Mail.
His 23-year-old girlfriend.
Daily Mail said that. What was it that like his search for rings might not be over?
Yeah. He's looking for one more ring.
I mean, I don't think this 23. Maybe she should. I don't know. They should get a prenup.
She should get married, I guess. He shouldn't.
He's 72. She's 23. Whatever. Love is love.
Sign a prenup, Bill.
Yeah. So we hope there's more of that next week.
And that just about wraps up this episode of the Tea Huddle.
Thanks so much for listening. I promise there'll be more fun Final Goss next week.
Tune in for that tea, everybody.
We will be taking a little bye week ourselves, just like Travis, the rest of the Chiefs, and every other player out there, but not to worry.
We still have an episode coming out next week.
Yeah, it'll just be
a little different.
Yeah, but you gotta tune in to find out.
And until then, stay juicy.